Having gained promotion as champions from League One to the Championship, first time that Pompey have been in the Championship for 12 years, obviously some players are going to stay and some players are going to go. Pompey have just released their retained list 2024. So let's discuss it here. Scott Reviews Things. Hello again and welcome back to Scott Reviews Things. Pompey have just released their retained list for 2024, having gained promotion from EFL 1 as the champions, and congratulations to Derby for coming in second, and good luck to the 4 teams that are in the playoffs. Hope you all do. One of you is going to come up, so didn't want to land in the playoffs, so that's all good news. The retained list is always something that's brutal, especially when you've been promoted. You've got people that have given a lot to the club. So Pompey have released theirs about an hour ago. It's Wednesday, May the 1st. It's probably coming out Thursday morning, I would think. But yeah, so let's go through it. I'll put it on the screen and we can have a little bit of a discussion. We've got some stuff on the Portsmouth website as well, so we'll have a little bit of a chat about that. But offered new contracts. So 2 players offered a new contract. We've got Marlon Pack and Connor Ogilvie. Marlon Pack was a dead cert, I would have thought. The man has sweated blood and tears this year and last year. A Pompey boy, captain, fantastic. I think him being offered a contract was always on the cards. Connor Ogilvie, I'm quite surprised by that. Connor's a very steady left back, but I would have thought possibly we could have had better, and that's no disrespect to Connor. So he's been very consistent this year and a huge part of that promotion team. But yeah, Marlon Pack and Connor Ogilvie both offered new contracts. In negotiations, you got Joe Morrell and Jack Swanson. Neither of them surprises me, so they're obviously they can't come to an agreement yet by the sounds of it, so they're ongoing negotiations. We've got leaving the club. I'll read out the list and we'll get into the two highest profile ones of these. So you've got Sean Raggett, Joe Rafferty, Lee Evans, Josh Martin, Matt Macy, Ryan Schofield, Haji Monja, Harry Jewett White, Liam Vincent, and Josh Dockerall. The two, and this will all be on the screen anyway. The two that really stand out on that, obviously, are Sean Raggett and Joe Rafferty. Let's deal with Joe Rafferty first. I think Joe Rafferty's been a really solid player this year. Very dependable. Worked really well with Abu Kamara. And I think that's come as a little bit of a shock. Is it completely unexpected? Probably not. But it did come as a little bit of a shock. But I wish him well wherever he lands up next year. I'd say he was a very good servant this year and played really, really well. I thought he was very solid as a right back. And then we come to Sean Raggett. Sean Raggett this year proved a lot of people wrong. He was not a comedy figure, but his ball playing skills weren't great, and he's turned that around. And him and the Shock Nest monster, Conor Shaughnessy, have formed a very, obviously when Regan Paul was injured, Sean Raggett stepped in and he's done a fantastic job. So very sad to see, and absolute legend, probably. Legend's used a lot in modern society, but he is a legend. He's done really well for this club this year. Part of that back four conceded very few goals this year, and he's part of that. So I'm guessing that John Mousinho couldn't find a position for him regularly, so he's going to go off and find first team football. And do you know what? I wish him all the best, and I'm sure every Pompey fan will wish him the best, because he really put a shift in. at this club this year. So very, very sad to see Sean Raggett go, and Joe Rafferty. Lee Evans, I don't think we saw the best of Lee Evans, to be fair. I know he's had knee problems when he came in, and I think they took a little bit of a gamble on Lee. Probably didn't work out for the club or Lee. Would have liked, but hopefully he does well for the future. The loans have returned to their parent clubs. Obviously, Tino Anjorin, Abu Kamara, Miles Pert-Harris, and Alex Robertson. I'm hoping, as I'm sure most Pompey fans are, that we can do something for with Norwich for Abu Kamara. I think he has a place at this club. If he doesn't, then the not insignificant part he played in getting us the title this year, I don't think that'll ever be forgotten by the people that watched him play this year. He was fantastic. I think also Tino Anjorin, obviously he's a little bit injury prone, but he shows a real class about him, does Tino, and I think he would make a really good addition to a loan spell again next year. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. Miles Pert-Harris showed real glimpses of what he could do, but also, for me, for the times I saw him play, he let himself down a couple of times with lackluster performances. Then we've got the under contract, and I don't think all these people will stay. I think they're currently under contract, and I think that some of them will try to be. JM will try and push some of not push them out, but move them on so we can bring other people in. So under contract, we've got Colby Bishop, Terry Devlin, Paddy Lane, Callum Lang, Tom Lowry, Tom McIntyre, Owen Moxon, Will Norris, Regan Poole, Christian Sadie, Anthony Scully, Connor Shaughnessy, Jack Sparks, Ben Stevenson, Toby Stewart, Riley Towler, Gavin White, and Cassini Yengi. I think a few of them might be either loaned out or sold to free up the wages and the space within the team to bring in some more people. Obviously, Rich Hughes and John Massinio have obviously been planning for this for some time. So that's the retained list. On the Portsmouth website, there is some words from John Massinio, and he said it's always tough to tell players that they're not going to receive new contracts, and the fact this team has been so successful make it doubly difficult. There are guys who certainly deserve to get a deal because of the instrumental role they've played in helping us secure the League One title. That's particularly true for Sean Raggett and Joe Rafferty, who have both been excellent, but I have no doubt there will be a lot of interest in them, as there will be for the other guys who are leaving. But it's important that we separate the sentiment from the reality of competing in the Championship next season. For that reason, we needed to make some incredibly tough decisions, and I get on with all of the lads. So I wish them nothing but the best moving forward. I would like to also thank Chelsea, Norwich, Brentford and Man City for loaning us their players, all of whom made an important impact over the course of the season. Raggett scored 17 goals in 239 appearances for Pompey after arriving initially on loan from Norwich in 2019, while Rafferty featured 68 times across the past two seasons. It goes into some of the other players. And he's on about some of the younger players that have been released. I have no doubt, and I think as a club, we have to back John Massinio and Rich Hughes and Andy Cullen and all these guys that put this club on a fairly sure footing. I don't think we can be keeping people on sentiment. If we're going to try and do something in the Championship, firstly surviving it, can we push for a playoff place or promotion? Then we've got to make some tough decisions. Those tough decisions have obviously been made. So that's the retained list. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're going to sell any of the players that are currently still under contract? What are your thoughts on Sean Raggett and Joe Rafferty leaving? Conor Ogilvie being offered a new contract, that one surprised me a little bit. And obviously we've still got Joe Morrell and Zach Swanson in negotiations. He said he wasn't going to hang about. It's the 1st of May. The season's only been over a couple of days, and they've pulled the trigger already. this club is doing things the right way. So what do you think? Are you happy with the retained list? Would you have made changes? Would you release some of the other players? Obviously, if they're under contract, that's very difficult to do. But yeah, interesting. I think we've got some exciting months ahead before we get back into the new season in the Championship. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hopefully some more Portsmouth and football content coming up on the channel. If you like the channel and you like this content, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. There's a subscribe button somewhere. And I'll see you very soon.